Hello students, welcome to Raaonline, and today's topic is anatomy of flowering plants under the section that is brief discussion, question based discussion of this particular topic. And the topic starts with the tissue. Tissue term was given by Grew. Term tissue was coined by Grew. That is for the plants. Term tissue in plants was given by Mr. Grew. Term tissue in plants was given by Grew actually. This term was coined by G-R-E-W, Grew. Study of tissue histology. Study of tissue histology. Tissues are studied under histology. Tissues are dealt under histology. When we study the level of organization, tissue comes at second level. Tissue is at second level. Tissue is at second level. Tissue level organization can't be seen in the members of kingdom Monera as well as in Protista. Tissue level organization, that is this level of organization, tissue level organization can't be seen in like members of kingdom Monera and Protista. That is, these two, they don't have tissue level of organization. Otherwise, fungi, plantae and animalia, in all these you can see the tissue level organization. But in this chapter, we are dealing with the tissues in plants, I mean kingdom Plantae. Plant tissues are of two types. Tissues in plants, they are of two types, meristematic and permanent. These are meristematic and permanent. So, answer of first question is, there are two types of tissues in plant. One is meristematic, other one is permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue, that is also called meristem, and permanent tissue. The basic difference between these tissue, meristematic tissue comprises of those cells which are in the state of division. Meristematic tissue or meristem. Meristematic tissue, which is also called meristem, comprises of those cells which possess power of division and they remain in the state of division. That's why they are called meristem or meristematic tissue. Whereas permanent tissue, power of division is lost. This is the first and basic terminology based difference. Meristems, cells of meristem possess power of division and they remain in the state of division. Whereas in permanent tissue, the power of division is lost. Power of division is lost. So, first one, the answer is meristematic tissue and permanent tissue, two types of tissues in plant. Now, second question, cells are living, possess power of division. I have already mentioned on the basis of terminology, that is, this property is seen in the cells of meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue, also known as meristem. This is also known as meristem. Term meristem was given by Nageli. Term meristem was coined by Nageli. And meristose means to divide. That is, cells are living thin-walled. Cells of this tissue are living thin-walled, and these cells are compactly arranged. These cells are compactly arranged. That is, there is no intercellular space in between them. There are no intercellular space between them, and they have distinct or prominent nucleus. They have distinct and prominent nucleus. And the key property of this tissue, cells possess power of division and they remain in the state of division. So their role is to contribute in growth only. That is, cells of meristem, because they have the power of division, so the main role of this tissue is to contribute in growth. It is always in the state of formation of new cells. So meristem perform only one function, that is, it contributes in growth. Contributes in growth. This is the major role of meristematic tissue in plant. Cells compactly arranged, there is no intercellular space, nucleus is distinct in them, nucleus is distinct in them, prominent nucleus is present, and those cell organelles which are not needed for the division of cell, they are in primitive state. For example, no need of to prepare food. So that's why plastids are in proplastid state in the cells of meristem. So these are the some properties of meristematic tissue. These are the some properties of meristematic tissue. Primary growth in plant is due to, if we classify meristem, then one of the criteria is position. One of the criteria of classification of meristem is position. On the basis of position in plant body, meristem is divided into three categories. One is apical meristem, 2 intercalary meristem, and 3 lateral meristem. These are the three types of meristem on the basis of position in plant body. On the basis of position, how many types of meristems are there? Then answer is 3 types. 1. Apical meristem. Number 1, apical meristem. Number 2, intercalary meristem. Number 2, intercalary meristem. And number 3, lateral meristem. Number 3, lateral meristem. These are the 3 types. First 2, that is apical meristem and intercalary meristem. As the word apical says, apical meristem are present at the apex or tips of plant. This is shoot tip. That is, location of apical meristem, as the word suggests, at the name suggests, they are located at the tip of the plant. In case of shoot apex, they are exactly at the tip. Whereas in root, this is root. This is root actually. In root, root cap is there. So at the tip, root cap is there. This is root cap. Followed by few non-dividing cells are there. Few non-dividing cells, region of few non-dividing cells is there. This is quiescent center. Quiescent center. Next to root cap, quiescent center is present. Followed by meristem. This is the position of meristem in root. This is meristem. So, the position of meristem in root, we can say subapical or subterminal. Subapical or subterminal. that is slightly away from the tip. This is the position of meristem in root. This is the position of meristem in root. So in shoot apex, it is exactly at the tip, whereas in the root, it is slightly away from the tip. That's what is subterminal. And apical meristem contributes in primary growth. Structure elongates. The structure elongates due to the activity of apical meristem, and the growth due to apical meristem is primary growth. But another meristem is there, that is intercalary meristem. The intercalary word suggests that is the meristem which is intertwined by the permanent tissue. The meristem which is intertwined by the permanent tissue, that is, it is sandwiched by the permanent tissue. Suppose this is intercalary meristem. This is intercalary meristem, and it is sandwiched by the permanent tissue. I mean, here permanent tissue is present, here permanent tissue is present, in between them meristematic tissue. This is permanent tissue, this is permanent tissue, in between them meristematic tissue. It is actually left out meristem of apical meristem and found in the nodal regions of plant. Intercalary meristem is found in nodal regions of plant, especially mint, grasses and bamboo. Intercalary meristem is common in mint. Number 2, grasses. Number 3, bamboo. Mint, grasses and bamboo. And this meristem is also concerned with the primary growth. The structure elongates because of the activity of intercalary meristem. Then 2 more questions in my mind. They are concerned with the apical meristem and intercalary meristem. If we remove the apical meristem, plant will not elongate further. Plant will not elongate further. So this is the principle on which bonsai are made. Bonsai, that is the art of making dwarf plant. Bonsai, that is art of making dwarf plant. When we make bonsai or dwarf plant, in that case, apical meristem is removed. Apical meristem is removed. So what is bonsai? Art of making dwarf plant. You can make any plant dwarf and up to your desirable height. Even mango like tree can also be made into the plants of bonsai. Whereas one question concerned with the mint, grasses and bamboo. You know, when we cut the grass in lawn, they grow again. When we cut the grass in lawns, after a few days you will see there is a growth in the grasses. That is, they grow even after cutting. Bamboo, mint and grasses, because they have intercalary meristem in their nodal area. They have intercalary meristem in nodal area. That's why they grow. That's why they grow. They grow again and again even after cutting. So these two questions, these are the 2 questions which are concerned with the apical meristem, and second one is intercalary meristem. Grasses, bamboo and mint, they grow even after cutting. They grow even after cutting. And the lateral meristem. So as far as primary growth concerned, 2 tissues are responsible. As far as primary growth concerned, then answer is apical and intercalary meristem. Apical and intercalary meristem. They are concerned with the primary growth also. And these 2 meristem, one more thing with them, these 2 meristems are primary meristem on the basis of origin. Apical meristem and intercalary meristem, they are primary meristem on the basis of origin. So they are on the basis of origin, primary meristem, responsible for primary growth in plant. What about the lateral meristem? Now come to the lateral meristem. Lateral meristem, as the word suggests, Lateral meristem located laterally in the plant body. Lateral meristem is located laterally in the plant body. Lateral meristem, that is, if we cut a particular plant, take the transverse section of it, and you'll see this is the transverse section of that plant. This is transverse section of this plant. This is the trunk area. And let's see the position of lateral meristem in them. Lateral meristem, as word suggests, located laterally. Lateral meristem, as suggests, it is located laterally in the plant. It is also called cylindrical meristem. This is also known as cylindrical meristem. Lateral meristem is also termed as cylindrical meristem. For example, if we consider that this is the lateral meristem in plant. This is the lateral meristem in plant, not at the tips. It is within the plant body, located in the lateral side of plant, and it is responsible for the formation of new tissue on both the side. This meristem responsible for the formation of new tissue on both the side, that is inner side as well as outer side. Hence, plant increases its girth. Lateral meristem responsible for increase in diameter, increase in girth only. That's why this meristem is concerned with secondary growth. Lateral meristem is responsible for secondary growth in plant. Lateral meristem is responsible for secondary growth in plants. This is the role of lateral meristem in plant. Responsible for secondary growth, that is increase in girth. But lateral meristem is restricted to the dicots only. It is found in dicots, dicot stem and dicot root. Lateral meristem is found in dicot stem and dicot root only. So that's why secondary growth is seen in dicots, and especially with respect to the stem as well as root. Lateral meristem on the basis of origin mostly secondary except fascicular cambium. Except fascicular or vascular cambium, the entire lateral meristem is secondary in origin. So apical meristem and intercalary meristem primary in origin, whereas lateral meristem is secondary in origin. And apical and intercalary meristem, they are responsible for primary growth and responsible for the elongation of area, whereas lateral meristem located laterally and responsible for the secondary growth in plant. But the question says primary growth in plant is due to, then the answer is apical meristem and intercalary meristem. Yes, procambium and dicot stem. Procambium in dicot stem. In procambium, actually, there are three types of meristem on the basis of function. Protoderm, procambium and ground. Protoderm, procambium and ground meristem. Procambium is responsible for the formation of primary vascular tissue. But here the dicot stem is mentioned. And that procambium in dicot stem is responsible for the formation of primary vascular tissue as well as intrafascicular cambium. That is intrafascicular cambium. Primary vascular tissue, that is primary xylem and primary phloem. Primary vascular tissue means primary xylem and primary phloem. These two are the primary vascular tissue. But in dicot stem you see, this is the vascular bundle. This is a vascular bundle. The upper region is showing, that is towards periphery, it is showing the primary phloem. And in between primary phloem and primary xylem, there is a strip of cambium. Between them. This is intrafascicular cambium or fascicular cambium or vascular cambium. This is intrafascicular cambium or fascicular cambium, or even we can say vascular cambium. And this is the only cambium which is primary in origin. This is the only cambium, that is intrafascicular cambium is the only cambium which is primary in origin. This cambium which is blue colored, showing the blue color in this diagram, this is intrafascicular cambium. And the only cambium which is primary in origin. Only cambium that is primary origin, seen in dicot stem only, and it originates from the procambium. It is originated from the procambium. So, intrafascicular cambium, again I would like to explain, that is present in between primary xylem and primary phloem. This is primary phloem, PP, primary phloem, and this is PX, that is primary xylem, and in between them, what is present? Intrafascicular cambium is present, and it is the only cambium which is primary in origin. That is only cambium that is primary in origin. So, dicot stem, procambium, that is I have already mentioned, there are three types of meristem on the basis of function. One is protoderm, the derma, that is the skin, responsible for the formation of protective layers in plant as primary structure only. Then procambium, we have discussed enough in this sense. And the last one is ground meristem, that is ground meristem. Ground or fundamental meristem, that is remaining portion of plant body, that is protective layer and vasculature. Except protective layer and vasculature, all the tissues are formed by ground meristem basis of function. This is on the basis of function. This is meristem on the basis of function. So, final conclusion, procambium responsible for the formation of primary vascular tissue as well as intrafascicular cambium in dicot stem. In which stem? Dicot stem. If the stem is monocot, then answer will be 1. Instead of dicot, if monocot word is written, in that case the answer is only 1. That is primary vascular tissues only, because cambium is not found in monocots. Fifth one, mint, grasses and bamboo. They have intercalary meristem. That's why they grow even after cutting. What is intercalary meristem? I have already described. That is, it is present in the nodal region of plant and sandwiched by the permanent tissue. This is intercalary meristem. Found in the nodal regions of some plants, not in all plants, and is sandwiched by permanent tissue. So this is the location of intercalary meristem, and it is sandwiched by the permanent tissue. Found in the nodal regions of plant, and if these plants are cut, they grow even after cutting. They grow after some time again because of presence of intercalary meristem. Here you see one more word, that is wound meristem. The S word says wound suggests that is injury. In case of injury to plant, injured cells secrete a hormone. That hormone is known as wound hormone. This wound hormone is actually traumatic acid. Or it is also called traumatin. Traumatic acid or traumatin. This traumatic acid or traumatin acts as mitogen, that is initiates cell division. Mitogens are those which initiate cell division. They are called mitogen. What is their role? Secreted by the injured cell, but acts on the neighboring living cells, non-injured living cell and make them active to divide. When they divide, new cells are formed. New cells are responsible for the healing of injury. That's why this meristem is concerned with the healing of wound, and it is termed as wound meristem. On the basis of origin, it is secondary. Wound meristem on the basis of origin is secondary meristem. It is secondary meristem on the basis of origin. So mint grasses and bamboo, they grow even after cutting because they have what? Intercalary meristem. Where? In the nodal regions of plant.